your header. Whenever you go, you have to know about what is a server, actually what you are using, whether it is an Ubuntu or an Apache, gateway interface CGI, one point request method. Get means you are requesting something, then query string, what is a query string, and all the variables I told you, that all will be displayed. So, some problems will be there in CGI. The performance and security issues in web servers to the application communication is there will be some problems. So, you know, when there is a network issue, your payment transaction will be stopped, and we may not blame anyone, either the server, either the banking or the client. So, the problem is the network interruption, either in the server side or the client side, that is not our responsibility. So, these are the common issues in CGI. Then when the server receives a request, it creates a new process in order to run the CGI. So, this requires time and significant server resources. So, a CGI program cannot interact back with the web server. That is also once it is failed, that is all, it will return back to the server. So, we should have it in mind. It is not the responsibility of the whole CGI to do all the process. The process of the CGI program is terminated when the program finishes. Once you get the results, no sharing of resources between the subsequent calls, no main memory provision of the user sessions. You have a single way and you get the output, and that output will be transferred to the client, and exposing to the web the physical part and an executable program can be security. So, you should not blame the CGI for the network issues and the new process which intervenes the request, and it will be terminated. You will not have a temporary memory or anything, just the output will be redirected to you, whether the transaction is successful or not. The transaction part is an exe, already I told you that exe will be run, whether the exe is good or bad, your network should be clear to complete the transaction. So, when you are talking about a CGI, you should completely think about a payment gateway what you are right now using. Just imagine you are going for a bank transaction, you ask for something, you ask for a credit or a debit. This particular CGI will help you to access the bank, which is the exe. You open the bank which you want to transaction, whether it is an ICI or an whatever, it depends upon some ABC bank. It will open, you have to log in your credentials and do everything in this exe, and the result is done. Your transaction is success. Only after getting the result, this result will be transferred to the client. This is what a common gateway interface will do. This is the work of the CGI. So, this is the major part of a CGI. Without this, you cannot go for a dynamic content web paging. So, I hope with this example you can understand about actually what is happening in a web page, dynamic publishing page, isn't it? So, and you have a small introduction also about HTML. With this note, I would like to add that also. Actually, it is nothing but you should know about what is, you have an introduction part of HTML only. So, we should all know about actually what is HTML. It is nothing but it's one a part of an HTML, nothing else. So, you should know about what is HTML. HTML stands for Standard Generalized Markup Language. So, when you are talking about generalized, everything in the world wide web will be generalized form. Everyone will have the common coding. With that help only you can do one. So, HTML is a standard generalized markup language. It can be of whatever. So, say for example, a system for organization and tagging elements of documents. A system for organization and tagging elements for documents. So, hope you would know about this name tagging, isn't it? You always have many tags. In which you have many tags? Is a well known markup language is our HTML. So, an HTML is a system for organization and tagging elements of documents, and it has been organized in 1986 itself by International Organization of Standard. So, why do you go for a standard? Wherever you go, whenever you go, for example, if you enter into airport, you have some formalities, right? You have to check in, you have to check out, before that you have to clear your luggages and you have to finish all your enquiries and your custom services. So, why do you go for this particular protocol? Wherever, whichever airport you go, you follow this particular standard protocol. Likewise, whatever languages you go, it will all come under standard generalized markup language. So, therefore, they have designed this HTML in 1986 to follow a common standard for internet. So, when we are talking about that, HTML is not in itself a document language, but a description of how to specify one. it is nothing but